Morning, everybody. Welcome to Nobody's Listening Anyways podcast. Just had to play some good Linkin Park. Nobody's listening. So, Nobody's Listening Anyways podcast. I feel like that should kind of be the song. But I'd have to get rights and things like that. So that's a lot of stuff. Although I just want to be a creative and just want other artists to be on my page. So let's dive into it. Nobody's Listening podcast. I want to talk some hockey. First round hockey. You have the Penguins, Islanders. 33% chance I see that the Islanders will win this series. This is what we're looking at. Again, the Islanders are underdogs. So the Pittsburgh Penguins are a 67% chance to get past the Islanders. Not at all what Islander fans want to hear, especially after all the efforts that we put in the last 3 years, and not me, but I mean the guys that are on the ice doing the work every single game, every single shift. Those guys have worked their asses off in this league to say, like, we're not underdogs, like, we're elite. You know, you're 4 goals differential to winning the Jennings Trophy again. You know, it would have been the second, I believe it would have been the second or third time that Trotz has done that in his tenure as an Islander. So that's amazing. And as Islander fans, we're not used to that. We're really not. Other than Nabokov and Poulin being really solid, and in that Tavares era, at least as far as goaltending, I mean, Nabby and Poulin really stepped up when we needed them, and it was big. So it's really interesting to see, like, where these guys are at and why they feel like the Islanders are not there or not up to par with other teams, especially the Penguins. Like, if you look at it, they added Jeff Carter. I understand they have Crosby. I understand that Malkin's back and he's just now healthy after, you know, he missed a decent amount of time, to be honest, and he was out there, you know, a couple of shifts, things like that. He looked all right, but not like Malkin we're used to seeing. And let's not forget, Travis Hamonic shut him down. You think that Ryan Pollock and Adam Pelech won't, but they'll be focused on Crosby because those two handle Crosby the best. So maybe Mayfield will be out there handling, you know, the Malkin line. Not sure how they want to work it with Leddy and Mayfield working on Malkin's line. That could be good. I mean, you want to see certain matchups, maybe Braden Coburn and Andy Green play and Dobson gets rest, or Dobson does play. You know, it's up to the coaches. We'll see what they do going forward. But it looks great. I mean, let's just dive deeper into the lineup and go look at their forward group, which is extensively in depth, like extensively. I mean, from Austin Zarnak to Thomas Hickey, even on the defense, like they're stacked. Any way you look at it on their roster, they have guys that can skate, play, high hockey IQ. The Islanders have a lot of that really in their lineup. Bailey, Eberle, very smart hockey players. Del Cole, every game does exactly what he needs to, you know? The intangibles, as they call it. Komarov does the same thing. And yeah, Anders Lee is like a huge miss out. It speaks volumes to their team of who they are and how they are, especially when their captain is on the ice. You know, regardless, Brock Nelson does step up. JG Pageau does elevate his game. Guys will climb and, you know, take advantage of what's in front of them to do it for their captain, for their team, for their leader. Zajac, Palmieri, 2 newcomers, have been striking posts, getting into the dirty areas, getting to where we need them to be as, you know, Islanders, playing hard against the walls, good on face-offs, you know, things like that. It can be really, really a good run. I personally think, I'm biased, but just being somebody that's played hockey my whole life and seeing where the Islanders are at, they did the same thing kind of last year. They kind of stumbled in, you know, they were the last seed or things like that, and they went to the finals, and they were very close to being the Tampa Bay Lightning, the future that year Stanley Cup winners. Excuse me a moment. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't see anything wrong with the Islanders and why they're pegged at 33. If it was 47%, I could be like, okay, that's a little more respectable. But still nowadays, giving the Islanders that, especially with 2 Jennings candidates, with Sorokin in his first year and his rookie year, phenomenal. And Varlamov, and, you know, just being Varlamov. Like, I think it's his 3rd or 4th time to be considered in the Vezina race because he's so damn dominant. He really is like a Jedi back there. And it's good to have. Teams really need a goalie that can stand on his head. It can't be stressed enough how much you need that. Like Halak, Grice, that combo, Laner and Grice, to steal games for you and really lock in and be that effective is crucial to a team and how far they go in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And the Islanders have that all the way through. Oliver Wahlstrom is an intensely fast, skillful, and a rocket of a shot, and yet he doesn't get considered for anything. He had a little bit of a spell after the trade deadline. It was like slowed down for him, but that was just, you got new acquisitions. He had to get put off on taxi squad. Just a couple of things to happen where Wahlstrom kind of just stepped away from hockey a little bit. And then when he got back into it, now if you see him, he's back in the New York groove, and he's fine, and he's getting goals, and he's scoring, and he's being productive, because when he comes in, he's effective. And that's a big thing for a team, especially a young player like that, to be that effective. You can talk about Kravtsov and things like that, and his potential and things like that, but here's a kid who's right there right now. Has all the tools in the toolbox to get there, and with coaching and good structure, he'll get there. And thank God he's got Barry Trotz there, because that guy in your ear really helps you. And I think it's, just to be honest, I just think it's a shame that the Islanders don't get put into a conversation with the elites. It's always, Boston, Pittsburgh Capitals. Those are your elites. And then like a couple of years ago, they're saying like, the Hurricanes. Yeah, I understand that they really are a very good team and very similar in many ways. And they beat us and things like that. I get it. Or they beat the Islanders. I understand that. But at the same time, in the same token, like, why do the Hurricanes all of a sudden just get put back in the category of like, potentially elite? And the Islanders are like sitting there like, wait a second. Like, we've been there more times and far more successful and beaten far stronger teams that they can't beat. And we're not put in the same discussion as Islander fans and Islanders in the standings. Like, just the team gets no respect. And it's just, it amazes me. And Barzal, like, they love to go after Barzal. They love it. They love to just go after him. Like, he can make one silly move. They got him. But, the 10 spears before that he took to his ribs, or the cheap shots that he was getting, because he's not just a fast, skillful player he does it all. He's a true hockey player. He loves the game, and you can tell it oozes out of him. That young ambition. Trust me, when I was playing in that kind of mode, I was playing at like rec center level, men's leagues, things like that, to the level of like not even close to Barzal, and I felt it, So for that guy at that level, he's feeling it like it's amplified, because you're there, you're at the show, you've made it, So if you're just a little, kid just, chasing your dream, things like that, you love it. But when you're in it, and it's your job, well, you best bet that's going to ooze out of you. And it shows. It goes to the next player. Beauvillier, look how he plays. It's great. I want to shine the light on them today, because the league just shines the light on every other player, every other team, but nobody talks Isles. You got to talk Isles. You got to talk more Islanders. The Islanders are the best team. You got to see how good and how efficient these guys are. There's no days off. A next guy mentality is so apparent with this team. And, trust me, we've talked about Taves, Kane for those years, Quick, Carter, the 70s line with Toffoli and all of that. We talked about all that. We've covered these guys. Are we going to keep talking about it? Marlowe's almost retired. Ryan Miller's retired. We highlighted these guys. We talked about them. And as we should, because they're Hall of Famers, each of them, Miller and Marlowe. They should be talked about. But as a team effort, I've never seen something so well constructed. Mostly Garth Snow, and finished off by Lou Lamoriello's just really getting the best personnel in there and making the team work as far as structure, and then Trotz's coaching. It is on a linear path to a Stanley Cup, and it's got to get there. And I feel like this year they could really do it. Kind of like how Tampa Bay did it last year. I feel it with the Islanders this year, because we were so close, but the hunger is so there, Wahlstrom wants it. Like, these kids want it, and you could tell. It's just, it's amazing to see. It's great for the Long Island community and people of Belmont going into like a new season, things like that. You really want to see like this organization thrive. It's good for hockey, you know? And the same thing I want for like a team like Phoenix, who I, as an Islander fan, have seen come to the games. I'm like, how many Phoenix jerseys are here? You know, it's like, wow, like they make the effort, they come, they show up, you know, almost like the Canadians. They show up to your building, and it's just good. You got to spread hockey. You got to be positive with everything you can try to do in life, and just keep emulating that all on and off the ice. Whether you're a player or you're not, or you're a fan or whatever you are, as long as you're part of it, you're part of the community of hockey. And hockey is a very large community. It's an isolated community, I feel, at times, because, you know, baseball and football take over American sports. In Canada, it's huge, obviously. It's Hockey Day Canada, all that stuff. It's big out there. It's more prevalent. So I just want to kind of wrap up here and just once again just say how much I think the Islanders need to stop being underdogs and start being considered as one of the elites, because they really are. These guys are just top tier hockey players, and they're great. So I hope that, you know, we can get them considered more of an elite team and shine the light on these guys a little bit more, because wow, I mean, every guy in that locker room is just an amazing person, an amazing athlete, and it's really just remarkable to see as an Islander fan, because I grew up in some down times, I grew up in some good times, and then some times where I was like, I can't believe we're actually at this point now and doing this well. It was great to see, especially with Tavares with that wraparound goal, being there to see it and live and things like that it's amazing. So many brighter days, and I hope that this one is going to be brighter for everybody, and I hope going forward for the Islanders, we can ride off into the sunset with that Stanley Cup over our shoulders for Boychuk and for guys that, you know, Andrew Ladd, guys who are still there supporting and being a part of this this Islanders run and success. So it's great to see, considering all that the team's been through, and getting back to those 80s glory days. And, you know, Bushy in the booth calling the games with Brendan Burke is great, and AJ Malesko and Shannon Hogan. I think the Islanders family is just incredible and remarkable, and I just hope for the best going forward, and let's go Isles.